Hey everybody, I see we have a couple of folks in here, so you guys let me know if you can hear me. I'm gonna let some more folks jump in. Of course, you guys can yap whenever you get ready. I am just finishing up a few little things here, and then we'll start yapping, guys. Let me know if you can hear me well, okay? Hang in there, guys. We're just gonna let a few more people jump in, and then we'll start our little deal here. So hang in there for me. Video and sound is good. Thank you. I am. I'm attempting to create a little liner at the bottom that has the phone numbers in it. Okay, and I keep creating it, and not saving it for some reason. I don't know. I thought I saved it, but obviously I didn't mute, and it keeps going away, and I keep having to recreate it. But hang in there because I'm almost done, and I hope it actually comes up properly. Um, so we will see, and we're going to talk a little bit about the mentor phase of training. Okay, and I hope that interests you, because if it does, that means you're on your way to come burn some fuel with us. When you saved very well, I didn't find it in there, so okay. You guys have any WV? What's up, brother? I'm glad to have you in here. And you guys hang in there. I'm almost done. I'm going to start announcing these so that I don't have to wait so long for everybody to get in. But we're going to have a good time here just a little bit. I'm almost done with that. Save you, baby. And let's give it a test run here. I'm going to see if you guys can. All right. Just made a little move. I'm going to see what happens on your guys' end. I'm trying to get the phone numbers and everything to come up to it. Boom! Look at that. It actually come up. So I guess I'm doing something right. So, guys, I wanted to talk today about the mentor phase. By the way, my student Hector is he's getting upgraded right now. He's doing his tests, and if he happens to come in while we're doing our live, then we'll talk to him as well. But he's upgrading right now, and his phase is over. It took a little bit longer than I would normally, so I think it was right at a month, 4 weeks, and I'm generally about 3 weeks and just a couple of days. But we had some load hiccups, and we ended up having to sit a couple of days because, and I do dedicated, and the loads were double booked, believe it or not, and that was not fun. But we worked through it, and he's now finished. He's in the other room, and he's taking his written test, and then he'll go take a road test and a little backing test, and then we're going to try to go get him a tractor and get him rolling, which means my passenger seat is open now. Generally, it doesn't take very long. So, hey, Latoya. It doesn't take very long to get somebody on there, and I'm pretty sure that they already have a student ready for me, and that'll be good. We'll just get to burning some fuel, and Hector and I ran pretty hard, and he got a chance to. By the way, it is time. The weather has changed, and we do have snow here in our wonderful little city of Utah and Denver and Wyoming, where man, my graphics went away, didn't they? Anyways, the graphics had a phone number on there, and I'm going to put it back up, and then I'm going to try to figure out how to make it stay there, and when I get through yapping, and then you guys can call in, and then we'll talk, okay? But anyways, Hector's done. He's upgrading. He's upgrading right now. Now, the way I run is I run pretty hard. We run a lot. Okay, I don't sit around. I don't waste a whole lot of time at all. I don't like wasting time. I believe it's you're not doing yourself any favors, and that's just not the way things are handled. We run, and we run hard and long, and you're gonna do a minimum of 500 miles a day, minimum. Okay, sometimes it's a little more than that, but minimum 500 miles a day. And we got some weather coming, and it ain't going anywhere. It's only going to get worse with snow, and so you got to be ready for that. But the biggest deal that I wanted to talk about today is on how I run is uh, the way the system is set. Um, it's not set in stone. The only thing that's set in stone is is here at Swift Transportation. A mentor has to be on. I mean, a student has to be on a mentor's truck for 200 hours behind the wheel. Means he's driving for 200 hours. Okay, and during that first 50 hours, the student is driving obviously, and the mentor is sitting in a passenger seat, and the student is the active driver on the Qualcomm. He's put himself as the active driver, and then the mentor is his status is on duty. Okay, and that's basically day cab rules. Okay, which means if you are a CDL holder and you are in a day cab, then both driver and passenger have to be on duty. They can't go. The only other status they could be is off duty. Which, how can you determine if he's on or off duty when just because you're driving the truck isn't the only part of duty? When a truck stops, does that person get out and start throwing boxes? Then they're on duty. Okay, so and you cannot start your clock on duty and then go back off and then back on again and then back off every time you get to a shipper. So it doesn't work that way, and that's the reason the day cab rules say if there's a CDL holder, that person's going to be on duty. Okay, so we use those day cab rules for the first 50 hours, and the student is driving and the mentor is teaching. He's sitting right next to him. After the first 50 hours, the last 150, the student can drive if the mentor feels the student is ready enough. He can drive, and the mentor is in the bunk. He can go to sleep. Okay, you are no longer using the day cab rules. You use the sleeper rules. Okay, because the truck's out of sleep, so you do sleeper rules now. So that means the mentor can go to sleep, and he can not be on duty while the student is driving the truck. Okay, he can be in a sleeper, and for the first 2 hours of that shift, the mentor can sit up front, but after the 2 hours, he has to go to the bunk and stay in sleeper berth. So after the student has expired his clock, then he's driven his clock out, then he will go off duty and then go to sleeper. And at that point, the mentor can then start driving. Okay, so that is where I don't know. I really don't understand why so many people have such a problem and disconnect right here. So many people believe the entire time that a student is on a mentor's truck that the mentor should not be in the sleeper, that the mentor should be sitting right next to the student. Now, these are radical thinking people. They believe, the most extreme of things, and that the only way a student can learn, well, then the teacher must be sitting with him the entire time. You didn't learn that way when you was in school. You didn't learn that way when you learned how to drive a car, okay? And it don't work that way when you learn how to drive a truck either. And this, that thought process, that the person who's the student is so inept that they cannot be left alone. Okay. So now I'm going to give you the bottom line, and then we'll start talking about that. The bottom line: if to all of you who think that a mentor must sit with the student the entire time they're on that mentor's truck, my question to you then is, at what point did the student become, qualified to drive the truck? At what point? By the logic of the student never driving the truck without the mentor sitting next to him. By your logic, if that's what you think, then you're saying that the student never achieved that goal. That student should just be a student forever, because he can never drive without the attention of a mentor. Bottom line, because you can't have it one way or the other. You can't say that the mentor can't be there, and then say, well, yes, he can, and he can go to the sleeper, in these certain circumstances. Nope, no, you said that they should be there the whole time. That's why the logic is so flawed, because if my student never got to a point where I feel safe with them driving the truck with me in the sleeper, why would I turn them loose in the street to drive solo with your family, riding the streets? Why would I do that? I mean, what logic would that be? If I don't feel this person is capable of driving the truck, why let them go solo? If the logic, that the mentor should always be there, is the same thing as saying that students are never ready to drive the truck. And the people who are saying these things are either students themselves, or not even truck drivers, period, or they are already beyond that stage, and they just got their own opinion, which that's fine, but it's just they're not mentors. Then if you ask that person to become a mentor, they got 100 reasons why they don't want to be a mentor, but they want to tell you how to mentor, what the rules ought to be. Or, like I said, they're a student, or not even a truck driver at all, and just got a twisted opinion of what things should be, and they got that from watching other people's opinion. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what the facts are. The fact is, Craig Davenport. I have on my Bluetooth, and I have the volume all the way up, and I can barely hear you. Hey, 50+, how you doing? Oh, hey, Brother William. Now, anybody else having a problem with not hearing me? I don't know why that would be an issue when I've got the output at max and my gain is at 8. So I'm hoping that Craig, I'm hoping that you can hear me, brother, because I can't make it go up any louder. It's already banging in the yellow on the volume. Okay, so if I try to turn the gain up any louder, you guys will just be hearing wee. So I'm hoping that you can hear me. All right, William, you hear me good? Perfect. Craig, hopefully you can hear me, brother. Let me know. I'm going to let you guys chime in a little bit, and then let me know your opinion on it. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, a mentor, and by the way, the folks who are saying these things about mentors should be sitting in the seat with the passenger seat the entire time, what they're not understanding is, as a mentor, they Swift does pay me to be a mentor, and they pay me a whopping $100 a week, and that $100 is to have an inexperienced driver sitting next to me with zero experience, basically, and I then teach this person how to perform this job in conditions that are hazardous. And I'm going to do that all the time. Okay, understand, when you are, I hear you, but I have my speakers maxed. Uh, well, I am going to. I got the max gain, bro. I don't know. Let me try this. Let me try this. How's that, guys? I hope that's gonna work for you. I'm even gonna move my mic down some. That you might get some bang because this thing is like way up. I'm all the way into the yellow right now. If I go up any louder, it's gonna be in the red. So I don't know what's going on with that, but it's I got to even turn my ears down because it's blowing in my ears. So I don't know what's going on. Hopefully it'll come together for you guys. Keep letting me know. And so anyways, you guys can chime in as well as give me a call. And I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna auto pause this, and I'm gonna put the graph back out. Where is it? And in a minute, you're gonna have a graph at the bottom there. And it's gonna have a phone number. You guys can give me a call. And it's also got Autumn's phone number on there if you want to call the recruiter. And you can call and we can talk about this this deal. Now, again, as a mentor, Swift does pay $100, and like I said, you are, as a mentor, always on duty. Because remember, that person is not, that person isn't, you know, with you in your truck, you know, for an 8-hour period, and then y'all go their separate ways. This person is living in your house. You've taken care of that person, and you're responsible for that person is, you know, getting their career handled, and you're gonna get $100 a week, and that ain't gonna cut it. I wouldn't do it for $100 a week. It's too much. It's too stressful. It's a lot of work, you know. You're giving up a lot of space. You're giving up a lot of everything. And so those who are saying these things, I want them to take that in consideration as well. So I want to know what you guys think. Do you believe a mentor should sit next to the driver for the entire time they're training? You know, again, I completely disagree with that theory. That's the same thing as saying that that person is never ready to go solo, because you have to sit with them the entire time. At some point, the time should be up where that person should be able to go solo. I mean, you want to drive in school in your car, your dad or your mom, somebody taught you how to drive. So why aren't they sitting beside you right now? At some point, you became a functionable driver without somebody sitting there. And the same thing is going to happen to guys who drive these trucks and gals that drive these trucks. At some point, they should become a capable driver. And if they become a capable driver, then why does the mentor have to sit next to him? I would really like to learn that theory, understand the logic behind that. And Mr. M, he says yes, they should. And after 3 weeks, okay, why 3 weeks, Mr. M? What makes 3 weeks that magic mark? Because if at 3 weeks that person is ready, then what if they're not? What if they take 4 weeks? What if they took 1 week and you spent 2 weeks sitting next to somebody that really didn't need you sitting next to them? You know, what's the logic behind that 3 weeks? You know, I'm gonna use my students as an example, okay? Derek, if you go back and watch when Derek was on the truck with me, I did his first backs on the yard in Corsicana, and not Corsicana, Lancaster, sorry. But anyways, as soon as I handed him the keys and he's backed that truck in there on the first pull, I mean, boom, threw it in there. Not a problem. I knew right then that he could drive that truck. We left on the first load, and I really didn't have to do much coaching. You know, I did have to teach him some of the trucking rules of the road, but Derek drove that truck as if he did it from birth, from day one. But I'm going to tell him, nope, you're not good enough, because 3 weeks, you know, of me sitting next to you. Now, I also want you to know this. Every day this person's going to drive about 550 miles every day. And there may be one day off that week, a day that they did the reset, okay? So that's 6 days a week where this person drove 500, maybe 550 miles. So how many miles is that, you know? And they got to drive all of them miles before they can convince you that that they don't need you sitting next to them. And you didn't do that in your car. I guarantee you did not go through driving school in your car or ride alongside mommy and daddy for no, you know, 19,000, 18,000 miles. You didn't do that. That's not what happened. So most of you in the car don't even have that many miles on it. So the theory, the logic just don't mix. It don't work. You're gonna have to come with something better than, you know, see, Mr. M now is different scenarios. That's what I'm trying to tell you, brother. That's what I'm telling you. Because they want to cookie cut it. They want to say, these people who say that the mentor must sit there the whole time, they only have one path, and that is the mentor sits there the whole time. That's it. There's no logic behind that. It's just do that only. No variances, just that. And the way it's set up here at Swift, the mentor has an option to go team style driving at any time beyond that 50 hours. And so the mentor can, based on the scenarios and what's going on, can make that decision. And that's where I'm thinking. And not only that, if we want to talk money, a mentor, let's say myself as prime example, if my student does not, for every day that I'm training my student beyond the 50 hours from that first week, every day costs me $400. Every day, $400. And so Well, I'm sorry. Let me retract that. It cost me $200 every day because the backhaul is not there because I can't drive back because I've already used up all my hours. Okay, but that is the true compensation for the time that the mentor spends training his student. Okay, so it based off of how many miles you drive, and how many, what your daily routine is. It could be a substantial difference between on mentors getting paid. So that is a big factor, and even myself, I probably wouldn't do it if it wasn't, it wasn't financially worth it. I mean, you got somebody in the truck with you the whole time. You have no privacy, and you know, there's a lot. A mentor takes a lot of risk too. By the way, let's just say my student was a female, and she just decided that trucking just wasn't for her, and that she don't want to be away from the kids. That wasn't, in hindsight, not such a good idea. So how will she get out of this deal? I know. I'll go to HR and tell HR that this mentor kicked my titty. So now the mentor for $100 a week gets to lose his job and possibly his career because this person lied on him. So, I mean, the risks and the reward should be equal, I would imagine. That's what I'm thinking, and what I'm telling you, that scenario that I just told you is 100% real. It happens. It has happened. And so, I'm dead serious with that. No way, because the driver should already know the basic of driving on the highway and the streets, unless he's parking the truck and maybe. The driver should already know. Well, CH4L hashtag marker line stop sign. No way, because the driver should already know the basic of driving on the highway and streets, unless he's parking the truck. Then maybe, yeah. I tend to have some agreements there with you. The normal truck driving schools really don't give you enough. It's not enough, but and they give you enough to kick you out there and get your CDL and get you going. But the fact is, you will need a mentor. You will need somebody like myself to help you get going. Unless you go to a trucking company that will let you, will throw you out there in one of their trucks with no experience. And there's some out there that do it. There are some out there that do it. But I will tell you, once you get out here, which is why I keep telling folks, hey, if you're gonna come out here, listen to what the mentor says. You're a student. You just got out of trucking school, man. You have no real clue what's happening or what's about to happen, and your mentor should, and therefore you should listen to him and follow those directions, because it is a difference between you driving that car up and down the road, your personal car, and this big rig, because they react quite differently. But I agree, you should know the rules of the road. You should know not to cut people off. You should know the signal. You should know to know where you're going before you get there, and know what's ahead of you before you get there. Those things you should know even if you're driving a car. And outside of that, You're just going to do that on a more grandiose scale, uh, and a little more with more caution. But other than that, you're right. It's very similar. And says the company is paying you to mentor and train, not land a bunk. Uh, well, is it training? Is, well, I'm putting it like this: there's on duty and off duty, and you're not getting, if you're on duty, sitting in the passenger seat, what are you getting paid to do? Are you getting paid to deliver the load, or are you getting paid to be a mentor? Because you're only getting paid for one, but two things are happening. You're delivering a load, which you would, if the student wasn't there, you would still be doing that and getting the same money. So if you're not delivering the load, you're mentoring the student. You're teaching the student to drive, right? Then how is the load getting there? So who should get paid for the load? So the company's paying me to mentor and I go to the bunk. But the company paid me or paying me to deliver the load. 50 cents a mile to deliver the load. So do I get paid to mentor the student? Or is that 50 cents to mentor the student? Okay, so now I'm getting paid to mentor the student, but I'm not getting paid to deliver the load. You're gonna have to get better with that one. You know, I understand the poke, but I'm smarter than that. So you're gonna have to, let me know, break that down for me. Nice brother, come on way, man. Thank you, sir. And I agree. It must be difficult to put your life in the student's hands. However, I'm thankful that there are mentors who find the confidence to. Yes, that is also a twisted way that people think of things. They'll think of every scenario as the worst it could be. I don't want to mentor because I want my life. I don't want to die because putting somebody in the truck that don't know how to drive. But first off, the person who's saying that, if they're capable of being a mentor, they themselves was in that same position, but someone stepped up and helped them. Someone got in the seat next to them and taught them how to do this, okay? And that person wasn't going, oh, I hope I don't die because this person's driving. Every one of us who drive on the road every day is driving on the road with someone else in another vehicle with very little experience, a teenager or even someone who just started learning to drive later in life. But if we continue to focus on, I might slip on a banana peel, so I'm just not going to get out of bed, because obviously every step I take is going to be on a banana peel, right? Every student that get in your truck is not that way, and you can figure that out very quickly. Even in your own, you got in a car with a friend, never get in the car with them before, and that person starts up the car looking straight ahead, start up the car, put it in reverse, and just back out of the driveway. Don't even look to see if there's anything behind them. Nothing. Just turn out into the street, put it in drive, and go forward. They not even looking. At what point do you tell that person, pull over, let me get the hell out of this car? Right? I mean, you're going to figure it out really quick. I mean, people who can't drive, you're going to figure that out pretty doggone quick. And the accident ratio of a student driver and an experienced driver, I would love for the person who's has those theories to give me those numbers. I guarantee you they don't know. They don't. They just regurgitating what they hear other people say. And I'm gonna tell you something else. If the most cautious driver is the one that don't know, 'cause you know what? They don't know. They're more afraid. They're more aware of everything that's going around them than somebody who's been doing it forever, and you know, kind of lackadaisical about it. I mean, if you think about that, brand new driver driving like this, you know, a few years later driving like this, right? It's the way it is. But I can tell you, every student I've had, I've never even thought, the thought had never even crossed my mind that I would be fixing to wreck out. It just never happens. It doesn't. And by the time they get through the school, the seriousness of driving that truck is already kind of gotten in their little cranium. So by the time they get on your truck, it's a different scenario. But remember also, the person that's getting on the truck is there for a career. Okay, that's not a game. They're not going to play, hang out with their buddies. This is not a video game, and they're there to be serious too. You know, they don't want to wreck out. They don't want to end their career before they even get started. So, yeah, I don't have no problem with anybody getting on my truck. I'm not afraid of it at all. I'm 3 hours away from completing my 200-hour training. Sky Shoe Car 27. Good deal, bro. Those 200 hours go by pretty quick too, and you get a lot of. I'll tell you this, so you guys kind of have a little bit of understanding too. In the first 50 hours, by the time, actually before then, probably by the first, I'm gonna say 30 hours. That means like 3 deliveries, okay? My student knows how to hold the lanes, no problems, execute safe turns, and they know how to properly greet and deal with our customers. No doubt, okay? And they've started backing. So remember, my guys get 3 backs every day. Okay, so you know, and I'm letting them bump the dock too. They're backing into the docks. Okay, the only time I don't let them back into a dock that early is if there's a hazard or we're short on time. Because remember, in that first 50 hours, we both on duty at the same time. So if we run out of time at the shipper, we're done. We're right there. We can't move. Okay, so if time is of the essence, I might say, okay, scooch over, we'll do you some backs later. I'm getting in this dock, and boom, done. Unload, man, gotta go. But they grasp a lot of information in that first 50 hours. I mean, a ton of it in that first 50 hours. If the mentor is doing his job properly, they're getting a bunch. I mean, you learning how to slide the tandems, and I got to do the 5th wheel today with Hector, and I'll record it because I keep telling y'all I'm going to do the 5th wheel, so I'm going to do it, okay? But we just been running it pretty hard, and I actually had anticipated on us being done on Friday, but that weather came through here, said, nah, you're going to stay on, you're going to stay out there for a little while. I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to go shoot my wife. But so much goes on in that first 50 hours, and then you spend the next 150 tweaking those things and getting clear understanding for those things. And also, just so you know, those who hasn't gone through this 200 hours, and Scott Shot Coil 27, he's almost hit his 200 hours, and he can contest to what I'm telling you is during the first 50, the mentor is sitting there. He has to sit there, no problem. But it's a misconception that all of the 150 extra hours, they're constantly missing each other because one's driving and the other's sleeping. That's not the way it works. Okay, for the first 200 hours and the last 2 hours of my student's shift, um, I'm sitting there, okay, and then I go, try to nod a little bit, and you can message any one of my students, and they'll tell you if they run over that little line, I'm like this, hey man, what's going on up there? Because I'm not always sleep as you don't, he's still a student. You kind of want to, look out for him. So you're nodding some, but it isn't. You don't get really good deep sleep. I can guarantee you that. But the premise of what I'm saying with this is, about four, relatively speaking, four of that 10-hour shift, the mentor is still sitting there. Sometimes we have to go to the sleeper. We can't even pull into a DOT station and be sitting in that bunk, sitting in that driver's seat, and you are logged into the sleeper. Okay, so and then you have to be in that sleeper for 10 hours so you can do your shift. So we'll sit back there and sometimes just sit on the bed and talk and have a good time. It's not exactly the way everybody thinks that the mentor just gonna go in the bed and just crash out and sleep for 10 hours and then get up and they swap. It's not necessarily that way. And every time we pull up to a shipper, every time that truck exits the highway, I guarantee you the mentor is up and he's making sure that the student is executing turns right. Except when you got people like Derek and Steve, my second student, Steve, man, I didn't have to get up with him. And brakes popping, and I go, what's going on? Pulling the crust out of my eyes the way he at, because the dude can drive, man, and he can. And Steve drove for the city transit system. He drove trains and buses, and the buses, articulating buses, and all that stuff for transit system. So he already familiar with these big vehicles, and dude just knocked it out. He banged it, and it took Chris. I thought it took Christopher. Christopher was the one with the glasses. He always wore the glasses and the beanie hat with the beard. Real, kind of timid kind of guy, and it took me a little while to. I actually thought that I wasn't getting through to him, that I was failing him as a mentor. I really thought that, and one day I told Chris to back into to do one of his backing practices, and he set up, and I said, okay, go backwards, back in, and he was holding on to that steering wheel, his hands was doing this, and I was going, go ahead, bro, go back up, and his hands was doing this. And I thought about it for a minute, and I said, hold on. I got up out of the passenger seat, went to the bunk area, pulled the curtains closed, and I said, go ahead, man, back in there. And he banged it out. And Christopher became a better driver, just so you know. And if you can get in contact with him, ask him if what I'm telling you ain't 100% true, Christopher became a better driver after I left him up in the front by himself. And I felt really good with it. And he was really one of the only students that I actually pull that blind closed. I always keep it open, but with him I close it because it helped him become a better driver, better student. He felt more confident without the fire-breathing dragon sitting next to him. The kind of an intimidation factor. Even though he and I got along really, really good, we had a really, really good time. We had great conversation and went to good restaurants, and I had a good time. But when it came to the mentoring part of it, I can be to a no holds barred type of position if I feel like you are missing something, or you might do something that's going to hurt you or it hurt you down the road. I'm not going to let you hurt it while you with me. But if I'm not teaching you the correct way, you're not getting it, and I let you go, then you're going to miss it down the road. Maybe you're not going to make the money you want to make because I didn't teach you properly. You know, simple steps like when you pull away from the dock, slide your tandems before you get out of the truck, and then release the tandem bar, close the doors, and get back in your truck. So you get everything done in one get out because you, come on, we got the roll. And that might seem like a little bitty thing, but I'm just using that as one example. That might save you, 10 minutes. 10 minutes may not seem like a whole lot, but that's because you don't run on DOT time. But if you do, you know that 10 minutes means a lot. And so I felt like I was failing him until the light bulb clicked. And he did, and still doing these. Every one of my students at the point, they are platinum drivers, all of them. None of them have any issues, and they always train the same way. They all did 100, did 50 hours next to them, $150 by themselves, and every single one of them doing fantastic. And let me see here. The barbecue trucker. Team driving doing training is a horrible way to train. It only benefits the trainer and the company. Well, that is a solid opinion that is held by quite a few people, and it is completely misguided because it's only seeing things in one direction. And I don't mind to repeat what I said before. If your child's teacher at school gave the students an assignment, then went to bed, you wouldn't stand for it. You, sir, I'm glad you said that, because the teacher do it every day. They send your kid home with homework. The teacher ain't there with your kid. What? They send them home, and the kid sitting at the table and do his homework without the teacher right there. The teacher's in a bunk. Next one. J. Bobby Warner just got hit with a $40 million violation. That training time, they have 40 hours driving. Trainer watching. And well, if what J. Bobby was saying is that some company got to pay a bunch of money. It's always, trucking companies always got to pay a bunch of money for something. And if let's just say I was in a bunk and my student only logged 40 hours, okay, he's not ready, okay, the company's standard is 50 hours before they can, before you can let them go solo. And I was less than that, and something happened. Well, I'm responsible for that, but that's not the company's problem there. That happened because that mentor didn't follow policy, okay, and that's a fact. And a lot of things happen when the rules aren't aren't being applied. And do companies get sued? Yes, they get sued all the time, bro. Trucking companies get sued all the time, and they get sued because, not because the company did something crazy. The company ain't out there driving the truck. Those are individuals doing individually crazy stuff. And I have one of the UBists who was in training. She was with her mentor, and she was rear-ended by another truck driver, and this truck driver was a mentor, and the student was in the truck with him, and he rear-ended uh, the UBS. She was driving in, and they rear-ended her truck. Okay, so the mentors have wrecked out too. The experienced drivers have wreck outs too. See it all the time. Oh, I seen some good ones. Oh, I say good ones. That sounds bad, but I seen some bad ones then. A couple days ago, when the snow came through here, and me and Hector was driving through the mountain. Boy, look, we had a doubles do a jackknife right in front of us. I was driving, and the truck jackknife, and it looked like a accordion unfolding or something. It was crazy. We've seen a few of them. As a trainer mentor, are you not paid for your miles as well as the students? Also, do you not receive a weekly payment for mentoring on top of the miles, as well as a bonus when the student upgrades? Well, Swift pays mentors $100 a week to mentor. We get every mile the truck turns, whether I'm driving or the student is driving. And as I explained earlier, that's the compensation for mentoring, for teaching the student. Now, just so you guys know, and stop any mentor and ask them, does your student cost you on average $100 a week? And the answer is more likely than not it's going to be yeah, because I've been lucky with a couple of my students that actually let's just say the very vast majority of my students, I've been very lucky. However, I know some other mentor friends that has not been quite as lucky, and that is that the students show up sometimes with, oh man, I missed the call back. You only let it ring for a second. The students will get on the truck, and they'll have just about everything they own with them when they get on it, and they don't have much at all to to their name, and so that $100 kind of helps you to help them. Hey, good. How are you? Hold on, I'm gonna get you on so everybody can hear you. How's that?
Pardon me?
There you go. Now, I think everybody can hear you now.
Turn up my volume.
How's that?
There you go.
How's that? I think we're good now. Perfect.
Well, look, I'll be joining Swift November 4th with orientation.
Really? Where are you gonna go? What
Pardon
location?
me?
What location you going?
Detroit. Detroit Rock City, baby.
Oh, okay. Now, there you go. So, what are you gonna do when you get out?
I got a dedicated route.
Really?
Looks like I'll be hauling. Basically, I'm dropping hooking, 100% dropping the hook. Hauling plumbing parts.
Really?
Distribution center to distribution center. Yeah.
That sounds like a plan right there.
Basically, Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, West Virginia, a little bit of Kentucky, a little bit of Missouri.
There's a lot of opportunity, especially for drivers with some experience, and the experience doesn't have to be years. It can be 6 months or greater, and they can come join and get some pretty good dedicated routes like that. You know, because a lot of the customers that have those dedicated routes, they do require that the drivers that pull their loads have, some amount of experience, and you may get lucky with yours.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to. I can't hear you, so I gotta disconnect here with my Bluetooth and go back to the phone.
Yeah, and
How you doing? You there?
I'm gonna turn you up too. Can you hear me better?
Yeah, I could just barely hear you, sir. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. What about
But
now? I'm trying to keep the.
there is one comment that I think like Swift and other major companies. What I went through with the companies that I am at right now. I mean, we go to all over except for Canada, I mean Alaska and Hawaii, obviously. But one of the things that they do is they start you off locally.
Uh huh.
You're going to gain so much more experience backing than you would over the road. And once that trainer thinks that you're competent enough to with your backing, then you go over the road, and that's what my company did. And that helped me out tremendously because when you're going over the road, you're just going forward, man. You're
Yep.
lucky if you get to back up twice.
Yeah. And
Where local, you're going to be backing maybe 20 times a day.
and you know that also is another another deal. I'm talking about when we're talking about mentors spending time next to the student. That's another thing. I mean, you spend as an OTR driver, even with I'm dedicated, but I'm 600 miles, but well 550 miles between. You know, the student spends all that time driving in a straight line. I mean, how much can you teach somebody to drive in a straight line? You know, they get the the bulk of what they're gonna get. That's really of importance when you first get started and when you're back into the docks. And like you're right. You know, I hope.
Sorry, I
I
can
hope.
barely hear you, sir.
I know it. I'm sorry, brother. I'm trying to get it
That's all good.
without you getting some.
I'll leave a couple comments and all that jazz, but I gotta
How's
go.
that? Is that better?
Pardon me?
Is that any better?
Yeah, it's a little better. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you calling, friend. I'm gonna work on. I just got my second mic in here, and it's probably reverbing back through the mixer. But I'm glad you called me.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Sorry, I'm sorry,
Okay.
brother. All
Well,
right.
I'm gonna let you go.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna get ready to take off, go to Baltimore, sir. I
Okay.
hope you have yourself a great, safe week. Safe driving out there. Looks like it's snowing out there in the Rockies. I went through there last week.
It
It's
is.
beautiful.
It is.
So safe driving to you, sir.
Thank
Okay?
you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right. All right, y'all. I need to get that back down. All right. Okay, guys. Sorry about that. We got my reverb bouncing. Uh, so yes, we talked about the trainer being paid. So now let's talk barbecue trucker. What if a student who is going to be solo driver can't sleep in a moving truck? Barbecue trucker, did you and I not have a conversation or something? Dude, here's the deal with that. Hector, the guy that's with me right now, same thing. He couldn't sleep while the truck was running. Okay? And so what we did was um, he drove, I drove. Then we might take like a 10 while the truck is not moving. And then we take off again. He drives and I drive back. And then we might, he drive back up there again and take a 10. And then I drive back. Okay? So you can make it work, And it's not it's because everybody's going to be different, you know. Giussani was driving with another trucking company before he come here, and they for some folks to drive teams, and it'd be like a few of them in that truck at the same time, and they got two bunk beds at the top. And Johnny will sleep at the top, and that truck be bouncing, bang, 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 and sleep, no problem. But uh, Hector can't sleep while the truck's moving. He can't do it, and it you could see it on him. He was exhausted sometimes, and so when that time comes, we just don't do it. We stop and take the 10, because you got to sleep, and it works out just fine, you know. But it has to do with being considerate of the person who can't sleep while the truck is going, and it is not Cadillac riding. You understand what I'm saying? Those trucks, oh my goodness, you can actually hit a bump, come up out of the bunk, and come back down. It's rough. You can't. A lot of times you just can't. You may be laying there but not getting good sleep, and that's why I was saying, even with the mentor back there, you may be asleep some, but you can't really get good sleep while that truck's running, and so every so often you got to take that 10, and then the truck is sitting still, and both the mentor and the student are getting some good rest. So that's how that worked. Um, let's go down some more. What type of Texas Marine? What kind of training would I look for if I make a jump into trucking? Well, hope some good training so you can make some money when you come out here and do it. But depending on what company you go with, some of these companies, their training is quite extensive, meaning it takes quite a long time for you to get to a solo, to the solo position. Okay, meaning you're driving a truck by yourself. So I originally went with Swift because of their training portion. It's just much shorter on time than than the other guys, and I like that. Is because I wanted to. There we go. I wanted to get going. I didn't want to, spend 6 months training. This is making sense to me, and I'm glad I made the choice. But the way it worked was I went to Swift Training Academy in Corsicana, and Swift sent me to school in Corsicana. Okay, and the school was 3 weeks, and it's pretty much a full day of class every day, and it's not a lot of classroom book study kind of thing, other than your permit, getting your permit. But most of it is them on the range showing you how to shift. At that time, we was doing shifting, but now you only shift and then drive, and then that's the shift, which is, I used to really had a problem with it. I really did. But my stance on that has changed a little bit because we have to because they're not going back to manual transmissions. Okay, but anyways, I digress. You go to range, they'll teach you how to back up, and how to do their little parks, and that you got to take the pass the test, and then you go out on the road and do some road driving, and they're gonna try to teach you how to turn corners and not hit the curb and that sort of stuff, and then you got enough. You should have enough to pass a skills test for the DMV to get your license. And once you get your license, then you're 3 months, you're 3 weeks down now, 3 weeks. Then you got a license, and then you get on a mentor's truck. And for most mentors, you're going to be somewhere between 4 to 5 weeks getting 200 hours of drive time behind the wheel. Okay, and once you're done with that, you will come back just like my student Hector is, and you're gonna take a skills test, and they're gonna see how much this guy taught you, and if this guy taught you enough to be successful and safe on the road, and then you are in your own truck and you go get the bursting fuel. And I like the process because it's I think legitimate enough of training. I believe if somebody taught you to do a specific thing for 200 hours and you don't know how to do it, you probably don't need to do it. It should not take 5 different programs over a 6-month period of time, this phase and then another phase and then another phase and then another part and then this thing and then teams and then this and then the other thing and keep doing some more and then that, and okay, now finally you can get a truck. By then you done lost everything, all your bills behind, everything. So before you Texas Marine, before you decide to come out here and immerse the field with us, think about what you want. Okay, what you want to get out of trucking, and then decide on where you're gonna go from there. Okay, if you want to, I always use tanker because those kind of specific. But if that's what you want to do, then you need to find a specific company that does what you wanted to do, and then are willing to take you fresh out of school or willing to train you and help you get your license. And so it just kind of depends on what you want and where you go, the type of training that you're going to get and how it works. And so, but I did explain to you how it works here at Swift. And, I enjoyed it. I like it. The process that I went through was really good, quick, and you're burning fuel. Todd, well, it looks like I'm joining Swift November 4th orientation. Great, man. Let me know, Todd, where's your school gonna be? Let me see. Oh, here's another comment from him right here. Well, I think you should be involved in training, especially in big trucks. Okay, there it is. Here, that's, Todd was talking about getting with a company so that he can get a lot of backing. When you're OTR, you may go 2 days if it's a long run and not do a real back. You can, if you're gonna spend the night, so of course you got a parked truck. You may do a pull through. You may not even back. But with my students, we don't really back at the truck stop. We're gonna pull in, get fuel. We may do a pull forward, go do a 30, and then burn fuel. Okay, but every day get 3 backs, because when we go to that truck stop, we're gonna find a spot where we can back in, pull out, go around, back in, pull out, go around, back in, 3 times, done. So he got the backs, and then when we get to the shipper, he's gonna do an alley dock, bump the dock. So you can still get it if that's what your goal is. If your goal is to get 3 backs a day, you're gonna get 3 backs a day, regardless if you're OTR or not. You just got to be you have to want to teach it. And my students get a bunch of that. They get it in the first 50 hours, and after that they're gonna do it themselves every day. They have no problem with that, because that's what we do, and we keep working at it. I'm glad I caught live feed. I was supposed to go to Swift Academy, and I got a speeding ticket, and the cops said I was doing. Ooh, oh, Brandon, you boy, 22-mile-an-hour speed. Look, you ain't a long range, you know. That happened to somebody I know here that they actually was doing 15 miles an hour over the speed limit, and they, you know, they cut him loose. You know, you need to get that ticket reduced or something. It's worth getting an attorney involved to try to maybe negotiate that thing, because that isn't something that you want, brother. Brandon, get a lawyer. What is up with us? Me and Barbecue Trucker are on the same page all day today. I promise you I did look at your response before I said that. No, please, no. I'm not trying to be. No, Trucker. I know it. I know. But he said, Trucker, I don't take any of you guys. I want y'all to speak freely when y'all yapping with me. Come on now. Speak freely. We right here. You the UBS. And I want you to be able to say things, because what you say, you know, somebody else may be wanting to say it, and they go, I don't want 50 to get mad at me. I ain't gonna get mad at you. Go on, say it, you know. So what you said, it needs to be said, because other people say the same thing. I hear it all the time. But what I'm hearing from people all the time is the same thing, and it's because it's the same undertone that is on YouTube and other social media. Is that, you know, only one way is the right way, and even though that person didn't try any of those ways, they expert at it, and then they spew that stuff out there. And okay, Barbecue Trucker, let's just say this. I said right here on YouTube that Barbecue Trucker only cooks dog meat in the rain. That's it. So if you ever go to Barbecue Trucker house, don't bring your dog, and make sure the sun's shining. You're gonna be hungry, but you know, you ain't gonna eat no rainy dog. Okay, so now I said that. And if I said it convincingly and funny enough, well, then everybody gonna start regurgitating it, and everybody gonna say, you know, the only way Barbecue Trucker barbecue is with, you know, rainy dogs. And you know that's about as dumb as anything anybody can say. You know it's not true. I know it's not true. I just made that scenario up. But that's all it takes. That's all it takes. And then somebody else run with it, and somebody else run with it, and more and more and more and more. And next thing you know, that's the narrative, you know. Oh, Swift is just a horrible company. They don't train nobody, and them Swift crooks, they just tear up and roll over folk, and they don't know how to back, and blah, 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 blah. That's a bunch of craziness. There's a bunch of crazy. They say the same thing about J.B. Hunt. J.B. Hunt was the biggest. Okay? That's the same thing. It's people just always looking for something cray-cray to say. You see? Just like, you know, the rainy dog meal that you're going to get when you go to a Barbecue Trucker's house. Okay? And I ain't never been to Barbecue Trucker's house. I don't know what he cook, you know. But I just made something up, and because I make it sound like it's worth something, then people run with it. And they keep running, and then the more people fall for that, the more real it seems, right? You know, I hear all the time, you know, people saying, you know, Donald Trump is a racist, and I'm thinking, where did that come from? Well, how is that true? And when you start really asking people about it, they have no rebuttal. They can't. Oh, he want to build a wall. That wall was already being built, and it ain't the only wall that's up. And long before he became president. So next thing they run out of things to say. You know, I asked some of the people I associate with, well, you know what? Was he a racist when you was watching The Apprentice, the number one reality show on TV. Everybody watched it. Was he racist then? No. But all it takes is for him to become president, and then people start doing this. But Trump's racist. But Donald Trump's racist. And guess what? Boom! Here you go. Then everybody think that and have no basis for what they're saying. Period. And the same thing with this deal here. Is there bonus pay when you keep the idle time down? Okay, this is Malachi Lyons. He wants us to know if there's bonuses. Fuel bonus. That's called fuel bonus. What he asking about? And no, no, there's no fuel bonus. You know, and I think Swift doesn't do that. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. See, I'm about to start a rumor. Okay, here you go. Because it's just my opinion. So I'm gonna act like I know what I'm talking about. I do know they don't have APUs on the truck. Okay, and they also know if it's 70 degrees outside, that's tolerable. But that means it's like 90 inside that truck. And with no APU, they're going to ask you to sit there and not idle that truck. You know, what they would prefer you to do is to go into the truck stop and listen to people talk about, how the barbecue trucker, barbecue rainy dogs and Donald Trump's racist. That's what they really want you to do. They want you to go inside in the truck stops or wherever, or come into the terminal and enjoy the lounge. Just where they make some nice lounges for us. That part is true. The barbecue dog, that's not true, y'all. I'm just playing with the barbecue trucker, okay? But this is really what they want. They want you to go inside and enjoy some amenities. It's why they remodeling and stuff, try to make it nice for us. And some of the terminals needed it anyway. But that would keep the idle down, which keeps fuel down, and some companies encourage you to do that by saying, "Hey, if your fuel consumption is at this rate, you're going to get this much in fuel bonus money," and it's their way of trying to keep those fuel costs under control. Just like the APUs, oh man. Does APU save a lot of money? Yeah. Do they cost a lot of money? Price one. And then you'll know why come 22,000 Swift trucks don't have them. Okay, so they don't do the fuel bonuses though, but they do have other incentives along the way as you reach certain statuses and stuff and hit certain safe miles and things like that. Not a whole lot. It's not you got to be a 1,000,000-mile driver. No. They have quite a few incentives to keep you, keep the wheels turning, that door closed, foot down, fuel burning, and money in your pocket, and you come make money, and everybody happy. Now, when you get to talk to your recruiters, ask about what's available at that time. Okay, so I don't want to tell you that something is available to you that it may not be anymore. Okay, but I do know the fuel bonuses. Ain't no fuel bonus. If it is, they ain't giving me none. Barbecue trucker. I have over 1.5 million miles experience, but I have to start over because it's 10 years ago. Well, you're gonna start over with 1.5 million and one, because you don't never lose that experience. I heard a lot of things about your video. Love them. Thank you very much, trucker. I'm going to Corsicana. A lot of things has changed in Corsicana, and if I drive home for my little home time right now, it all depends on the student that I have. There is a student here that I'm considering here at Corsicana. I mean here at Salt Lake. However, he's from Michigan, and he'd have to go up there and get his driver's license. So this guy may not be driving up there. I don't have good memories of Michigan. I just see all white stuff everywhere. Oh my God. So, if I drive home, I'm going to drive to Corsicana and I'm going to stop at the school. And just for you, barbecue trucker, I am the best dog meat you ever had. If you're going to do it big. That's right. Annette, hey, Annette, and to you. Um, but barbecue trucker, if I do drive, I'll swing through Corsicana, and I'll try to spend a little bit of time there, and make a video for you. Okay. Um, every time that I've gone through Corsicana, it has been at the wrong time. They've either was just the weekend, everybody's there, or it was in the real hot summer months, and they will get started real early in the morning and be done before the sun start baking. So that means they got to be done by 7 a.m. because boy, I love Texas. That's where I'm. That's my place. But boy, it's 140 degrees and it's 6:45 in the morning. I saw some deer. I used to go. I had been in a while deer hunting. Look at him, tell you something. It could be December and deer's walking back to their bed like this, sweating like pellets. What do you think of the food? Alpha wants to know what I think of the food at the Salt Lake Terminal. There you go. I only eat it because, sometimes I don't want to cook, man. And I'm really am extremely exhausted. Really bad. And this is one thing that the barbecue truck just mentioned about the truck rocking and moving. And it also kind of goes along with the premise of the theme of this live feed is what with the mentor and the student. But let's consider this. Jasani, one of the previous students, he is teaming with a guy, and then these guys are booking it. They run it, and I know they run it because I talk to my students, and and I try to be available for them if they have anything, and he did because he wasn't, he didn't feel like he was getting the miles, and I kind of give him some tips and things that he needed to do to get with the right people to correct that, and now they are killing it. Okay, but this is a team driving. Okay, and at no point. I can like right now to say, which I did. I told my driver, look, set my PTA for tomorrow, cause I'm finna go talk to the UBS, and then I'm going to bed, and I'm gonna be in the bed for a while. And so, if you think about these guys, man, that are team driving, they don't have that option. Because one of them might want to look. I got to get some still sleep, and the other one going. I'm still wired. I did 5 lines and a bunch of no-dos and some shaker, and I ain't slept in 5 weeks. I don't need no sleep. But the other guy's going to do. The sinker went right through me, and I'm tired. But what do? They team, right? And somebody want to make money, somebody want to go sleep. And so the one say, "Oh, look, I'm just gonna keep rolling." Okay, but when payday come, we got to break me off. So now the one who was sleepy has got to try to sleep while the other one is driving down the road, man. And it's construction, on your street at your house right there. If it wasn't no construction on your street when you left this morning, don't go home. You don't want to see no construction, because it is everywhere, everywhere. Hear me? And the roads, man, just the whole time, it can get really, 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 really rough. So not just, I'm just speaking this, not just the mentor and the student, but just, I mean, a husband and wife, team. Golly, it can be. I don't know that I would want to just do it all the time, and so like right now I'm done. I'm gonna get a brand new student, and for next week that they're with me, we're gonna both be sleeping at the same time. We better be. Because if he ain't sleeping when I'm sleeping, he might get out of my truck. Can you imagine that? You sleep, and then, you wake up, and there's somebody in your face like about this here close, watching you sleep. And y'all want me to do this here for $100 a week, and I got to worry about somebody trying to jump in the bed, spoon and stuff like that. Now don't be standing me in my face and I'm trying to sleep. It could have been there for hours just looking at me, lady. Man, we deserve to get paid, man. Barbecue trucker. By the way, if you're in Corsicana, that means you're in Texas. And if you're in Texas, me and you finna have some barbecue wars, brother. Because I got a pit, man. Look here. My pit, that food's so good, come off that pit, man. The neighbors come over and lick the pit. I catch them, trying to hump it in the middle of the night. Get my shotgun at them. Man, that barbecue so good. Can I have this little piece? No, get out of here. I'll let you know when I start. Maybe I can swing through. That would be real cool. That's Bobby you talked about at Corsicana when he shows up. You let me know when he's there, then maybe I can swing through that. And that would be really cool. And I hope that it works out right. And at some point, though, while you're in school, I should either be coming or going through that way. And I'm always going to the big Texas Steakhouse, so I'm going to be heading that way, right? Because I will be if I fly. I got to, I don't know, I have to look at it down through the clouds. But if I drive back to the house for my home time, then yeah, I'm stopping at Big Texas, and I could be stopping through Corsicana. So we do that. We're gonna make that work, okay? Make sure the 90s used to have CB radio communication. He said that the trainees used to talk with the trainers with the CB radio back in the day, and I don't think I don't have a CB in my truck, and with gosh on it, one of the students, man, really liked Derek. Really wanted me to do the CB thing, and I didn't have a CB, and I would go on the truck stop and say, it's only $200, let me go on and get it, then he'll be happy and we'll get to play with the CB while we're driving. But, the screw Jimmy just wouldn't let me, I just couldn't do it. But they are very helpful in increment weather, and so I'm definitely going to get one. But other than that, it's radio silence on CBs now. It's pretty much radio silence. You'll if there's traffic, guys will turn them on, and they'll kind of communicate with what's going on up the road. Two deers humping in the street, whatever. I don't know what's up there. But the CB talk. Well, they break through 4 they humping in the middle of the street. They don't do that. That means what I just said. 2 deers humping in the street, and everybody got to stop and look. Some of them got to flip their truck over because they want to see it all the time. But CBs can be fun, and they can be a life source, and they can be useful in situations like that. And let me see what else we got. Yo, don't forget to smash that like button. Thank you, baby. You got a page? And that baby, you got a page, and I can go to your page and give you a thumbs up too. You should. My trophies. Barbecue Trucker said he got some. He got some trophies from barbecue. All I got is pictures of people doing this. That's all I got. I hope that works. Now let's see what else we got here. Oh, by the way, how long I been on the phone with y'all? An hour and 40 minutes. Guys, look here. We pulled on the yard today, and it's about at least 20 brand new trucks outside. I'm gonna see if I can get Hector a brand new truck. Wouldn't that be cool? Get him a brand new truck. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but one of the UBS graduated here last week, and got a dedicated route, and got Costco dedicated route. That dude's gonna make about 3,000 miles a week, guaranteed. I mean, every day, 500 a day, then 500 back, then 500 a day, then 500 back, then 500 a day, then 500 back, and he can do that until his 70s expired every week, and then have a day off, because that's what I do. A reset. And he been out of school a week, and he got a brand new International, brand spanking new. And we went to Costco in Lone Tree, Colorado, and I pulled up next to him, and I told Hector, I said, man, that truck sitting next to us been here since we got here, and the whole time his hazard lights been blinking, and the clearance lights been on the whole time. So he got the light bulb thing turned into an accessory, and the flash was going all the time we was there, and I was there at least 6, 7 hours, 8 hours, and somewhere around the 6th hour, this person decided to get up out their truck and move out of the dock so that I could back in there. And didn't happen quite like that. I'm just making funny, but he got out, and I recognized right away. I said, man, because he's from Salt Lake, and he went to school here, and he's one of the UVS men. And it really makes me feel good to see that he's out there burning some fuel now in a brand new truck blocking that doggone alley, that dock door, so I can't get in. Next time I see you, you owe me another one. This was a hamburger from the Salt Lake grill downstairs, and it was pretty good. And I don't eat very many of them because I try to stay away from them carbs, and I only ate about 10% of the bread, but I ate all of the meat and stuff inside. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So food oil, that's pretty good. Barbecue Trucker say he has a channel. Why don't you copy your link and put it in the feed down here? So I know you have a page, because I subscribe to your page. But yeah, put your link down there so everybody else can click on it. You gonna make pork ribs? Alpha said he's gonna go make some pork ribs. Man, let me tell you something. If there's ever an animal, if there's 2 animals left on the planet, okay, Two animals left on the planet: a chicken and a pig. If one of them had to die, I would be in tears. I don't think I want to live without even one of them. I'd be like them old ladies at at the funeral. Oh, take me. No, no, don't take the pig or the chicken. No. Yeah, it's like that. It, Come on, y'all. You know I talk a little trash every once in a while. Don't get out. Somebody told me butt hurt the other day. Who that was? Somebody got J Bobby say your butt hurt, and I ain't even heard that until Hector said it. He was talking to somebody that got their butt hurt, and I was like, butt hurt? Where'd that come from? So maybe that's a noise like I ain't never heard it. Maybe I spent too much time in the truck. I didn't get out of the truck so I can listen to other people say stuff like butt hurt. You got your butt hurt, or you all butt hurt. Meaning you got your, I guess you got your feelings all in the knot. I don't know, but the barbecue trucker is the name of the channel. I'm gonna put it down there. I'm fixing to go on here and I'm fixing to get that link and I'm gonna put it down in that feed because I want everybody to see that there. Thank you. Let me see. There, right there. Right there. Right there. I'm fixing to share your page, man. Everybody just get on there and see. Well, be. I'm gonna share this right on. I don't see. I'm finna share this one. I'm finna share this link right here. Where's it? Let me see where that at. Where that down. Where that down. Where that down. Now. There, y'all. Yeah, J Bobby, you told me about her. Okay, y'all see me at where I just put my click on that barbecue trucker right there and go and give him some subscribers and then you gonna put some barbecue on that too. I didn't do the one. This one is like a football game or something, but I just watched it. So I just grabbed one real quick and clicked on it so I can attach it and get back to yapping at y'all. Alpha, I'm tell you something, man. If I make you some pork ribs, man, smoke them ribs for you. 3 weeks later, you still licking your fingers. My wife had to run you off, man. You be trying to follow me, you be trying to marry me and stuff like that. No. But I will bring you some ribs if we ever get that opportunity. But they good, boy. There's some good stuff, man. And a brisket. Man, look here, I put a smoke ring on that brisket so thick. And it won't be tart, it just be nice and smoky and great. Just moist goodness. You know what I'm gonna do on my next video? I'm gonna put some pictures of some. I always when I barbecue, take pictures of the meat and send it to Larry, my mentor, so he can cry because he ain't got none. He says 13. Barbecue truck says 13. Your nephew taught about to do how to do the channel. As you can tell, I'm still working it out. My when I did the phone call, I just took a phone call, right? And he could barely hear me. It wasn't working out real well, and I changed these chords up a little bit. I think that might have been what it was. But when I was at home, it worked out really good. But I'm still figuring out a whole lot of stuff too, and all we have to do is keep trying, keep pushing, and keep understanding and keep researching and keep trying to learn, and you just have no limitations on what you can. The only thing you can't do, and I can't do, barbecue trucker. The only thing we can't do is give birth. Okay, everything else is optional. Okay, and this stuff. My boys handle all this stuff about the business. I don't do this kind of stuff. I mean, I'm familiar with it all, but I ain't familiar enough to not have a feedback squealing in my ears. But they do all of that, you know. But we keep on, man. We keep on doing it, and we're gonna keep getting better and keep getting better and keep getting better, and you will as well. Yeah, did I miss anybody's comment, y'all? I really need to go find Hector and see what he's doing. And look, I'm going to, I'm gonna. I better not move that thing. I was gonna move that camera, but I made a little. I used these trucks, and I made on the floor a like a little makeshift parking lot, and Hector and I was having a little bit of a miscommunication uh, as far as his setup and how to back in properly, how to get a good setup, and I generally can uh, put myself and my student on the same page when I send that drone up. It just opens the it's an amazing tool to teach backing. It is an amazing tool, but our opportunities are in Rawlings and Wamsutter and Little America, and basically Wyoming, and lately doing the whole time that Hector's been on the truck, we've had too much wind. I can't send a drone up there. It's too much wind. And so I taped off a little parking lot on the floor, and I put some tape lines and everything, and then I put these trucks down there, and then we just, like 5-year-old little boys, we get down there on the ground and start playing with trucks, and it really helped get get it across. But he's doing okay now, and I believe he's going to do fantastic. So, guys, listen. I've been yapping at y'all long enough, and I'm glad uh, I did make 2 accomplishments. One is we did a live feed the whole time without it shutting off. Remember the last live feed shut off, and it had something to do with the Wi-Fi connection. So that's remedied, and I was able to embed the phone numbers on the screen for y'all. That worked, so we made some progress there. I just need to go back to the settings and get the phone deal set up. And I'm so thankful that for the phone call today. And in the future, this is going to be a thing, so you guys can just call right in, especially when I have the guest. Okay, I haven't had my guests yet, and I hadn't done that because I hadn't perfected this portion of it yet. And once I get this thing down where we're live, the cameras are rotating, and you guys are helping me with that, because it hadn't been flipping. Okay, remember, go from one camera to the next, and I like for it to do that because this gives a little different angle, Plus, I done paid all this money. There's 6 cameras around here, so you guys said it was flipping, it was switching too fast. Like every 10 seconds, it will switch cameras, right? And so I went into the program and I found out how to slow that down. So now it's going to change every minute. And it hadn't because the phone number thing, I hadn't gotten it to the point where I see it's changed. It's going to change, right? I hadn't found out how to make it embed in each one of the in the programs yet. So being when it switch angles, the phone number stuff goes away, and so we're working on it, man. It's going to be pretty. See that just changed. Don't be jealous. Anyways, we're working on it. We're making progress, and I really appreciate all of you all support and everything you do. I really, really, really do. I appreciate you sharing my videos and I appreciate you guys commenting and being a part of what we're doing. And you know, you guys let me know what you want me to cover.
I want you to cover that fifth wheel video. You keep saying you're gonna do it.
I am gonna do it. As soon as Hector's done, I'm gonna do it. We're already detached. I'm already detached. So basically, I just wanted to show you guys how to move that fifth wheel back and forth. It's real simple, but when you're under the pressure of getting load scaled properly, what is a seemingly easy task could be daunting. So we're gonna make that video for you, Hector and I. We just hadn't had free time to get her done. Okay, but I may have used some of your barbecue to do my next competition, especially with the ribs. I seem to do better with chicken and brisket. You know, believe it or not, I've been cooking chicken, barbecuing chicken for quite a while, and I have really had a problem with my skin on the chicken getting too dark because of smoking it, right? And I started to I don't know how you do yours, but I split the chicken down the back and basically cut the backbone out so the chicken is filleted, right? It's like laid like this, and so rather than laying it, this makes sound, oh, I can't believe you just doing it like that, but rather than laying it with the skin side up, I started flipping them over and cooking it with the skin side down, and actually started cooking some better chicken. It didn't get all the skin didn't get all crackly like that, you know. So now when people come to my house, they eat the sausage, brisket, you know, and the chicken. Before they was going, you burnt the chicken. The chicken ain't burnt. The skin, dog, because I done messed it up. But now, you know, I got it pretty good. It's been good and professional. Yes, sir. I sure appreciate y'all. I really do. And guys, I will see you guys on another video real soon. I'm gonna start doing the live feeds a little bit more frequent now that I kind of got things under control. So the next one, maybe you'll see who my new student will be. Student number 7, right? Because he was 6. Yeah, 7. 7. Student number 7 is coming up real soon, very soon. And I'm going to tell y'all about the rec outs on the next video as well. That will be a video, not a live feed. You probably won't talk to me about it when I come back, but I'm going to talk about these rec outs that we seen, man. They were just, whoo, man, they were not good. But anyway, I appreciate you guys, and please, you know, share the videos. Let's grow some more, and I want y'all's input on content, and I thank you for the content for this video, and that I was able to kind of let you know from a mentor standpoint why I do the sleeper with my students, you know, Independence goes a long way. If they can do it, then they should be able to do it. And I should be able to feel confident enough that I will let that student drive with me, sleep in that truck, just as if I would let that student go solo on the highways with your family. I feel just as confident that they won't hurt your family, just like they won't hurt me if I'm in that truck with them sleep. So that's my take on it, and I appreciate you guys. I really, really do. And we will see you again on the flip side. Okay.